Back leads things off for the Aggies, hitting just a casual .330 with 18 homers this season. Keith, you don't see the leadoff guy hit 18 homers much, do you?
No, but you don't see the guys that follow too often in the lineup either. This is just a loaded offensive lineup for the Aggies.
Grohovac was D1 Baseball's preseason freshman of the year coming into the season. Talk about high honors before you even play your first collegiate baseball game. Two and two. Grohovac's 16-game hit streak was snapped last night. He was 0 for 5 with 2 Ks. Swing and a miss, and a good start for Liam Doyle in Ole Miss.
Yeah, we talked about Doyle in that pregame in our talk, that Doyle just throws the ball. I mean, it's low 90s. It comes out of the hand good, but he throws the ball by people, hides it well, ball stays up in the zone. And no matter how much the scouting report talks about, let's get on top, let's be early, we've just seen hitters all season long, at least the first time through the order, they're just late on Liam Doyle.
Jace Laviolette, sophomore outfielder. Golden Spikes Award midseason watch list. Already a highly touted draft pick in 2025 because of these numbers you're about to see. But he was 0 for 4 last night with a walk. Back, go ahead.
No, those are player of the year numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like any year when Condon's not in your league.
And you also have Jack Caglione, right?
Correct. And you got the guy right behind, Braden Montgomery. But when Charlie Condon's in your league, that's going to be your player of the year.
1 and 2. There's 26 homers back-to-back seasons, and Laviolette is the first to do this in Aggie history, to hit 20 home runs or more in back-to-back seasons. And Doyle misses 2 and 2. Laviolette's 7-game hit streak was snapped last night. It was his longest hit streak of the season. He had 6 homers in that 7-game stretch. Chases upstairs, back-to-back Ks for Liam Doyle. Braden Montgomery at the plate. Madison, Mississippi native, began his career at Stanford before transferring to Texas A&M. Between the top 3 batters in Texas A&M's lineup, he was the only one who had a hit last night. And he laces this to left with 2 outs. And this gets all the way to Jackson Ross, and Montgomery picks up his 66th hit this season.
He had the 9th inning single last night, line drive to right field when he's hitting left-handed, of course, switch hitter.
And there it is between the 3, 1 and 13 between batters 1, 2, and 3 in A&M's lineup. And it's not just your typical 1, 2, 3 hitters either, Keith. I mean, they're all hitting over 320. They all have an insane amount of home runs between the 3 of them.
And it's how you win a 4-3 game.
Yep.
I mean, if they go 7 for 13 last night, A&M obviously scores significantly more than that 3 runs they did.
They've also combined for 200 of Texas A&M's 438 RBIs this season. That's 41%. 68 homers between the 3 of them. Here's Jackson Appel. He was 3 for 5 last night. All 3 of his hits were in his first 3 at-bats as they keep a close eye on Montgomery at first base. He's 10 for 12 in stolen base attempts this season. Appel in his first season with A&M, transfer from Penn, 2-time All-Ivy League honors, in his final 2 seasons at Penn. And his success from his time at Penn, transferring over to the SEC. Hitting .352 this year, on pace for 3 straight 60-hit seasons. He's at 58 right now. And it's 2-0. Crowder a little restless with 2 outs and a runner on first base.
Morris Hodges, home plate umpire, already hearing it a little bit. We've seen bigger crowds here in Oxford for a Saturday game, but this one does seem to be into it early.
There weren't a ton here last night either, but boy, were they making some noise.
And there's that fastball. I mean, Appel up in the count, 2-0. He's sitting dead red, and for whatever reason, at least like we said, the first time through the order, hitters have such a hard time catching up to, and that was 91. I mean, these guys in this league see guys throw a lot harder than that, but it certainly is effective for Doyle.
Slips through up the middle, and Montgomery takes a big turn at second base and just nearly gets back. Back-to-back singles with 2 outs for the Aggies.
A nice piece of hitting by Appel. Like we said, was not on time to pitch before, able to get the barrel out, and certainly looks like Groff had a chance if he just turns that loose to get Montgomery to pick a big turn, but Groff just kind of tossed it in, and Montgomery able to scramble back.
Why do you think he took that big of a turn? Did he think it was deeper into center than he thought, or? Interesting. Hayden shot at the plate with runners on first and second base, 2 gone. And Liam Doyle in his last start against Auburn didn't have his best stuff, but Mike Bianco said he still held Auburn at bay with 3 2/3 innings. He allowed 4 runs, just 2 were earned though. Struck out 5 and walked 3. And in that game too, Coach Bianco had to go to his bullpen and they stepped up for Doyle. One and two away. Runners on first and second for A&M. Doyle with 2 strikeouts already this inning. Ole Miss's strikeout leader this season.
Good take by Shot right there, a breaking ball. Ball starts in the zone. Those are the ones with 2 strikes. So hard as the hitter to lay off on. Ball's in the zone a long way. Able to check his swing.
Got him, strike 3. All 3 outs this inning. K's for Liam Doyle. All in their weekend series last weekend at LSU. 2 pretty tough environments to play in the SEC in back-to-back weekends for sure. So Luke Hill leads things off. Sophomore transfer out of Arizona State. On a 5-game hit streak, and all 5 of those games too, Hill's recorded 2 hits. Takes the strike, 1-1.
Yeah, A&M's played the last 2 weekends, the last 2 national champions,
Yeah.
who are both now battling to try to make the SEC tournament. That tells you anything about this league.
Lampkin's ahead, 1-2.
Yeah, that was the changeup right there from Lampkin. It's been a really good pitch, especially to right-handers. Ball runs down and away. Kind of run out of bat when you're up there hitting.
Remember, Luke Hill was hitting what, 160 in early March?
Yeah, got off to a really, really rough start, and it kind of carried over, I think, a little bit defensively. Wasn't playing as good defensively as he wanted to, and almost moved into second. Played second base for a while. It seemed to help his offense.
It's a rare strikeout recently for Luke Hill. There's Coach Schloss, 3rd season at Texas A&M, former head coach at TCU. Him and Mike Bianco know each other very well from their days as assistants in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, wins everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
Short stint at Nevada. Had a really good run in those 2 years, and obviously at TCU. Turned them into a national power, and doing the same again here at Texas A&M.
He's got the talent to do so, too, to go back to Omaha and make a serious run.
And certainly one of the most talented lineups in the country. Offensively, there's no question about that.
Andrew Fisher hitting over 300 this year for Ole Miss. Not often you see a guy with 19 homers in the second spot, but actually now that I say that out loud, Texas A&M also has a guy hitting second with 26 homers, so I should probably reel that back, Keith, and not speak
different
for the rest
era,
of the
different era college baseball.
Yeah. Fisher's just a sophomore, too. He hit 11 last year in his freshman year at Duke. Came into the weekend having homered in 4 straight games. The first Rebel to do that since 2007. Logan Power did that. And that hits him. Runner on first for Ole Miss, one away.
That changeup just got away from Lampkin. Ahead in the count, was in good shape, and Fisher gladly takes the hit by pitch.
Texas A&M, not really a team that hits a ton of batters. 57 now in the season.
He hits on that back forearm. Fisher down in the count against a tough left-handed pitcher. He will gladly take the hit by pitch. Jog to first base. You don't ever want to get hit, but 80 mile an hour, a lot better than mid-90s.
Brings up Jackson Ross.
Jake, you were talking about tough environments. Texas A&M is another place that is really, it's a bucket list college baseball place to go watch a game.
And they're getting $80 million renovations coming up.
It's a remarkable facility already, and obviously it will be that much better. Fans incredibly passionate there. It's a really cool place to watch a college baseball game.
I mean, think about it. What can you do to a ballpark with $80 million? You can do a lot, I feel like. A lot of cool things.
Not as much as you could have 3 years ago, by the way. But yeah, I had the unfortunate opportunity early in my coaching career to be the first base coach at Texas A&M when I was assistant coach at Ole Miss, and that was not a real fun experience. They have a really good time with the first base coach there.
Can you tell us anything? Maybe go a little bit deeper into
I will just say they make you think about everything that you do, every move you make, every step you take. I think there's a song that says that too. But that
did
was
you just
not,
quote
that,
the Police?
That was not intended. But yes, it really is a remarkable place to watch a college baseball game. I enjoy going back broadcasting there a lot more than when I coached there. Coached in a regional there when I was at Ole Miss, and then regular season. Yeah, it was interesting.
Ross bounces it to second base. Chestnut flips to second for one. Double play ball gets A&M out of the inning here in the first. Scoreless in Oxford. We head to the second.
By the way, it was a spectacular day for outdoor graduation here in Oxford. Mid-70s.
And they do it in the Grove.
They do. When the weather's good. When the weather's good. And it was perfect today.
That's also where all the football tailgating happens too. So that's beautiful space. Used for many things. Ali Camarillo leads off this second inning for Texas A&M. And he's down in the count, 0-2. He skies this to left center. And it's Groff settles under it. Out number one. Caden Sorrell comes up. Freshman out of Highland Village, Texas. Saw a lot of hitting streaks come to an end last night for Texas A&M. Sorrell's one of them too. Sure, it's a 4-game hit streak, but rather string hits together in 4 consecutive games than to not.
1,000%, that is correct. Miss shifting Sorrell. And Fisher at third playing his normal position. And Burford out in right center.
Can you even say that Burford's playing second base? I mean, is he technically, I mean, are you working with 2 right fielders out there?
You are certainly working with a shallow right fielder and a regular playing right fielder.
Well, now they move Fisher over, so the whole infield's on the right side. There's nobody in what would be the third base position.
Yeah, Fisher moved completely across. Luke Hill moved back to just to the left side of second base.
Wonder what the analytics say here about Sorrell.
Well, with two strikes, the reason you shift is the bunt's gone away. So you're not worried about your third baseman being on that side of the field. You're going to move him over. Obviously, the analytics say he pulls the ball on the ground, or they wouldn't be playing it this way. Outfield's played straight up, which again is not unusual. Sometimes guys hit the ball in the air differently than when you hit it on the ground. There's a good shot. Can't be more straight away in left, center, and right. And there is a big hole on the left side of the infield. Does seem like it'd be easy, right? You just roll it over to that side. Just hitting doesn't work that way.
He's staying alive here. Doyle set. Here's the 2-2. This is when, if you're a pitcher, it just gets exhausting. Pitch after pitch after pitch. You still can't get the guy out.
It is. And nice job by Sorrell. Fouling balls off. You're hoping to get a little better pitch the next time. The more pitches you see, obviously, the more opportunity for the pitcher to make a mistake. But yeah, at some point, the pitcher's like, put the ball in play. Throw it over the plate.
Pull the ball, please, to where my whole infield is.
Hit it to one of my guys.
Gets him there finally after a lengthy at-bat. 4 Ks today for Doyle.
Yeah, this is that fastball, and again, guys just swing. It's up out of the zone. The guys continue to swing at it. And again, it's not an A&M today thing. This is a season-long hitters against Doyle.
What do you make of Doyle's last 3 starts, Keith? And remember, we saw his first start, and we thought, this guy's got electric stuff. And obviously, he's come down to earth a little bit because as teams get more and more tape on him.
They do, but those are still quality starts from the standpoint. Obviously, last week Auburn, just the 3 2/3. But still getting yourself into the 5th, into the 6th inning. In today's baseball, honestly, that's about all you can hope for out of your starter.
One and one to Travis Chestnut.
The numbers just shift so much towards the hitter when you see a guy for the 3rd time. That's why you see so many pitching changes now in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning that maybe you didn't used to see. The numbers don't lie.
And Liam Doyle asking, hey, where was that from the mound? A little outside. And Morris Hodges nodded his head. Chestnut was 0 for 3 last night, struck out twice. And fouls it off.
We've seen Doyle kind of throw a cutter a few times. And that was something he has picked up as his starts have continued. I think that's what we just saw on that pitch right there, upper 80s. He'll throw a true slider, not as many change-ups, but he is predominantly a fastball pitcher.
Under it to center. And Grofkamp's under it. Out number 3.
Resume. You look at the 26-23, and you think, how are people talking about at-large bids? But there's a lot of quadrant 1 wins. You saw those wins against RPI top 50. The strength of schedule at 2. The RPI still good. Ole Miss just needs some conference wins. Historically, you just have to get to 13 to really be in the picture at all. You'd love to get to 14, but it's going to be difficult for Ole Miss to do. But there are still games left.
You have 2 more against A&M this weekend. Then you go to LSU. More quad 1 opportunities.
Yeah, and you're also going to look at series wins. If Ole Miss is able to win one of these next 2 against A&M, and they're going to have series wins against Mississippi State, South Carolina, and Texas A&M. There's not going to be any other bubble teams that will have 3 better weekend series wins. There just won't be.
Little roller off the bat of Will Furness, fielded by Grahovac, out number 1 here in the 2nd. Mike Bianco knows it too. He said, I love the quote that he said about having must-win games. He hates using that term because, as anybody knows, he does back in 2022, you're in it until you're not.
It's not a must-win, Mike Bianco says, until it's a must-win. When it's an elimination game, that's a must-win.
That's true.
There are still games on the schedule. Ole Miss obviously has to win some games. Look, Ole Miss has got some work to do to get into the 12-team SEC tournament. Then you start worrying about the other. But certainly last night's win helped Ole Miss immensely. Sunday at Auburn last week, such a difficult loss for them. Had that one really in position to win and weren't able to sweep that series. But that's all gone, and now you got the games ahead of you.
You know, when you talk about that 15-inning Murray State game, too, Ole Miss came out on the wrong side of that. Was that a game that was going to do more harm than good anyway, or not really?
I mean, you certainly, from an RPI standpoint, it probably wasn't going to help them even had they won. Obviously, it was worse to lose. But, you know, you play the games as they're played. And I know actually this year I think a memo was sent out to the team saying we're not canceling games late in the year anymore for these RPI, you know, so it doesn't hurt your RPI. And credit to Murray State. They came in here and won a game. Murray State's RPI, by the way, is pretty good. I think in the 70s.
Yeah, it was in the 70s coming in. Obviously, rises after that. But
an Ohio Valley Conference team, that's a very high RPI. But certainly not a loss Ole Miss wanted to take the 2 weeks before Selection Sunday.
Off the barrel of Ethan Groff. Now number 2. Laviolette makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for Ole Miss here in the second.
And we talked about Ole Miss. A&M also, obviously, right now in great shape. Clearly, they're going to be in the NCAA tournament. I'd say at this point it's pretty much impossible. They won't be hosting that first round of the NCAA tournament. But you do want to finish your season strong and make sure you get in that top 8, be a national seed, and get to play at home until Omaha.
Campbell Smithwick tried to sneak down a bunt, but he did it foul.
I don't think there's any question right now. They are clearly one of the top 8 national seeds. But they, lose 2 out of 3 last weekend. If Ole Miss is able to get them this weekend, I'm sure next weekend they'll start to think probably good if we win a series.
So it continues. The second HBP for Justin Lampkin on the hill today.
Yeah, both off-speed pitches, both to left-handers. Looks like the grip was a slider. Just wasn't much to it. Smithwick not in a hurry to get out of the way and wears it on that right arm.
Reagan Burford at the plate. 1 for 3 last night. Scorched a double off the wall. And he pops this up right side. Hooking towards the seats. And I don't think any of the Aggies could have caught that ball if they reached over.
What little bit of wind we have today is kind of blowing across the field towards the right field foul pole, so kind of pushing that ball out. Not a whole lot of wind. I think it will help the ball there. There's a good shot of the flags. It's going to help a little bit of ball to right field, hurt a little bit of ball to left. It might have been enough to push that one row into the stands.
Burford, one of the seniors today, celebrating senior day, captain. He almost hit a walk-off home run in that 15-inning game, too, against Murray State earlier this week.
Just a change-up again. It's been a good pitch to right-handers. Those harden up. That low 90s fastball plays so much faster when you're able to locate that change-up down on the zone. Hitters naturally hate to get fooled. You just, no matter how much you teach hitters, stay on time on fastballs. You just hate looking bad and being out front on off speed. Sometimes it slows you down enough, the fastball gets right past you.
You don't want to waste fastball opportunities you get either, right?
No, I mean, good hitters hit fastballs and they hit bad breaking balls. I mean, that's what good hitters do. Nobody makes a living hitting sliders down and away, at 87 miles an hour. It's just, they can tell you that one's coming. You're not going to hit it too much. Burford's worked himself back into what he hopes is a fastball count here on 3-2.
Payoff pitch. Gets a hold of this. Deep center. Laviolette's at the wall. He's out of room. It's gone. A senior day Burf bomb for the captain.
And Burford did work his way back into a fastball count. Got the fastball on time. Got the barrel to it. And even with the wind hurting that a little bit, Burford got that one out of the yard. You're going to see this fastball right down the middle. Burford gets the barrel there. A good extension through the ball. Burford wasn't sure. Laviolette wasn't sure, but runs out of room out in center field.
Trayson Hughes fouls it up with a base hit into left center. All this with 2 outs for Ole Miss. We're on top of the Aggies 2-0.
Yeah, really nice first pitch swing right there by Hughes. Fastball. A&M in the shift. Hughes hits that right to where you would expect the shortstop to be. Hit it hard. And as you said, 2 outs, nobody on base. Ole Miss now with 2 runs and a man on base.
Justin Lampkin this season, the majority of the runs allowed by him this season have come in the second inning. 12 runs allowed in the second inning this season. Said the majority, just shy of the majority. 12 of his 26 runs he's allowed on the mound this year have come in the second inning.
It's an interesting stat. Don't know that I can attribute that to much, but that is interesting.
Just one of those weird baseball stats, right? Because it's not like the lineup has seen you multiple times in the second inning, right? As Birch flies us down the right side. And this was the story on Lampkin too, right, Keith? It's just, he's had short outings. He's looked good in spurts. I've talked to him about just going inning by inning and not going into each start saying, hey, I'm going to go 6 innings today. It's just get through the first, get through the second, get through the third.
And really, it's a good way to approach a period. But certainly when you got a guy that's had some issues at times getting deeper into the game, sometimes pitchers try to figure out how I'm going to pitch 6 innings in the first inning. When really all he's got to do is pitch that pitch. Then the next pitch, then the next inning. Before you know it, you get to the 6th. Which, by the way, is real easy up here in the press box. A lot harder out there.
Everything we say is very easy.
It is.
Yeah.
Center field camera makes the game look so easy.
Yep.
Press box height makes the game look easy.
Mm-hmm.
A little different animal when you're standing on the field.
And Birch barrels this out to left. Boy, he's been struggling lately offensively, and Ole Miss would love it if their catcher offensively can start to come around and swing the bat like that.
Yeah, he's certainly been the best defensive catcher Ole Miss has had this season. Been very consistent receiving and blocking. He's obviously had some issues at the plate. He gets on top of a 92-mile-an-hour fastball and hammers that into left field. That is 3 straight base hits for Ole Miss on fastballs. They have done a good job. Like you talked about earlier, when you see it, don't miss it, and that's what we've seen from Ole Miss here recently.
And pitching coach Max Wiener out now of the 2 runs. And now Luke Hill, who's been red hot, fouls off the first pitch he sees.
And he attacked the first pitch fastball again.
Luke Hill in the last month is hitting .347.
He's definitely been a different player. You know, he hit over 300 last year at Arizona State. You certainly felt like the hit tool was there.
And it continues for Luke Hill, bloops it into center. Around third comes Hughes. Birch retreats back to second base. Ole Miss with a 3-run inning here in the second.
This all happened with 2 outs and nobody on base and a hit by pitch. See if Hill goes down and gets this ball, drives it right back through the middle. Laviolette makes a good decision. He's not getting the man at home plate. See Hill excited. Ole Miss with a big second inning, and Lampkin struggles in the second inning. Jake continue.
Ole Miss with the 2-out rally in the home half of the second. And here's a guy you love at the bat too, is Fisher, but
without making a pitching change.
Hit by pitch in his first at bat. Fisher takes outside, ball one.
A power breaking ball right there.
And that's why Fisher, 19 homers this season, 53 RBIs, 55 hits, 2. And he gets a hold of this into right center, tugs it into the gap, to the wall. Birch comes home. Luke Hill hits third. He's on his way home. The Aggies aren't going to contest him. What a 2-out rally by the Reds. They're hot.
99-mile-an-hour fastball by Cortez, and that's just being on time. You get your foot down, you get the barrel of the ball. You see this ball's down in the zone, and I mean, Fisher hammers this one. Can't swing it much better than that at 99. Splits the gap. Laviolette have just a little bit of trouble picking this ball up. Not much, but a little bit. I think Luke Hill's going to score either way. And how about a 5-run inning here for Ole Miss? All started with 2 outs and nobody on base. Don't get many of those kind of innings.
Especially against one of the best pitching staffs in the country in Texas A&M and the 3rd-ranked team in the country. All runs scored with 2 outs and the second.
And it's one thing to score with 2 outs when it's like the bases loaded or already loaded and you get the second out and then you get the runs. And this was 2 outs and nobody on base. I don't care who you're playing. You don't get many 5-run innings that start from scratch with 2 outs.
Ross grounded into a double play his last time up.
Yeah, and outside the hit by pitches, I mean, Ole Miss has earned this. I mean, Ole Miss has hammered some baseballs this inning. It's not been bloop-type base hits. No errors by A&M. That's a good breaking ball there.
Three and two.
Yeah, so this is the game we play now, right? The guy throws 100 miles an hour. He goes 3-0 breaking ball, 3-1 breaking ball. I understand why, because Jackson Ross almost certainly had the 3-0 swing. It feels kind of unfair to the hitter.
Ross under this, deep left, but Sorrell, a couple of steps in from the warning track he makes.
Lineup, I mean, it just feels like you're just ready to light a fuse at any point in time. So I suspect that his approach isn't any different. And the truth of the matter is, Doyle's a fastball thrower. He's going to throw fastballs if you're ahead, behind. So it's really not going to change how he's going to approach hitters.
Blake Binder up at the plate. Redshirt freshman stands 6'6", 230 in the batter's box. Surprised the basketball team didn't try to do a little
or football?
Yeah, or football.
Seems like a tight end, right? 6'6",
Yeah.
230?
Yeah. Playing in his 19th game, his 10th start today, too. Playing for Ted Burton, who's hurt. Got hurt in the LSU series. He is on the active roster this weekend. He's available to pinch hit if needed, just not ready to come back yet and play defense.
Yeah, they don't want to lose him down the stretch. You don't want to bring him back too soon. Their lineup feels different without him in the lineup, though. It's amazing sometimes how one piece of a puzzle and where it fits in the lineup and how it makes other guys feel. Pretty remarkable, but I do think that's what we're seeing a little bit here with A&M without Burton in the lineup.
I mean, really, though, from hitting 6th basically every day to moving up to 5th, to the average person, you wouldn't think that would make much of a difference, but it really does.
Well, sometimes it's where you hit. There's some of that, but certainly some of it's just because you don't have that presence that you know can get that big hit for you. It just takes a little more pressure off when you've got another big bat in the lineup. Look, Ole Miss playing this weekend without Ethan Leger as well. Certainly Ole Miss's biggest bat.
Skies this to shallow right. Hughes settles under it. Out number 1 here in the third. And that's the other thing. Ethan Leger, having the best year of his career in his second year at Ole Miss. Homers, RBIs, hits. It seemed like at times he was really the only one contributing offensively.
I think he's been the most consistent hitter. Yeah. Certainly Fisher's numbers are fantastic.
Of course.
Jackson Ross has been very, very good. But I think through the course of the season, well, let's put it this way, certainly he is one of Ole Miss's best hitters. Ole Miss playing their second straight weekend without Leger. He's got, I believe, a broken hand, correct, from getting hit by a pitch?
Yeah, in the Governor's Cup.
I think they do expect him back before the season is over. Or at least they're hoping to get him back. We saw him out there in senior day with a brace on his hand.
Certainly hoping, fingers crossed, if you're an Ole Miss fan. I don't think the rest of the SEC has their fingers crossed, but you get where I'm going. Gavin Grahovac is down in the count, 0-2. Struck out his last time up. He's now struck out 3 times this series.
Doyle said, if you're going to swing at it high, I'm just going to keep throwing it higher. Reach back. That might be the best velocity fastball we've seen today at 93 miles an hour.
Why go high? What's it do to the hitter?
Well, first of all, it's just hard to catch up.
Yeah.
So with his kind of ball that has a high spin rate and it stays up more than the normal fastball, the ball up in the zone plays better. And of course, he comes back cutter right there. Pretty nasty right under Grahovac's hands.
Now Grahovac struck out 4 times in this series.
But hitters have a hard time, especially with 2 strikes. That looks like a pitch you can hit when you're standing up there, and it's just really hard with velocity to catch up to it. So if you can pitch effectively, if you throw hard enough and you can pitch effectively up in the zone, it can be a really good pitch, and we've seen it all season for Doyle. It's his best pitch.
Laviolette now at the plate. Sophomore power hitter. But he, too, even struck out 3 times last night, once already today. At some point, he's due, right? It's just...
Well, there's no this whole lineup.
Yeah.
You're just not going to shut them down. Certainly they're not bothered. They'd rather not be down 5-0, but it certainly isn't a situation where there's no panic in that A&M dugout.
Well, he was hitless last night. He's only gone back-to-back games without a hit 3 times this year. And he scorches this to right. Keith, you were right. It's not going to take him long. And he took that long. The Aggies are on the board here in the third.
Looks like that was a cutter, and it looked like kind of down and away. That ball was barreled up over the Ole Miss bullpen. That was an absolute no-doubter.
27th of the season.
Man, not a bad pitch at all. Reached out, got the good part of the bat on it, and there was absolutely no question that ball was leaving the yard. A&M does get on the board here in the third.
There's no time to relax either with Montgomery now at the plate, who can do the exact same thing. He's got 24 this year.
And that's what's so hard is navigating this lineup, because a lot of times when you get to certain spots in an order, again, everybody can swing the bat at this level, but this A&M lineup, they can all really hit. You just feel like you can't make any mistakes 1 through 9. I don't believe that was a mistake that just threw. And so sometimes you tip your cap to the hitter. Hitter wins the battle, and Laviolette won that one.
1 for 1 today. Montgomery with his 66th hit of the season back in the first inning.
And quite the pickup.
Yeah.
I know the portal is here. It's a big part of the game. It will continue to be a big part of the game. And Montgomery was a magnificent portal pickup for A&M.
Two-way player at Stanford. He's on the Golden Spikes Award watch list and midseason watch list last year. But also Madison, Mississippi native. He was the Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year.
It was quite the pickup for Stanford out of high school. Very highly recruited player. And was definitely one of the most coveted players in the portal this past offseason. And he has proven his worth. And then some.
Yeah. And then some is right. But he also played incredible against A&M in the Stanford Regional last year. He was 7 for 13 at the plate in the series. Pair of RBIs, hit a homer, 4 runs scored. Hit .364 with 17 homers last season for Stanford. And he gets under this, pop up in the infield. Who's got it? It's Fisher who makes the catch, but Burford wanted it. The win, and of course going down to Baton Rouge, like these A&M Aggies know, is not easy. They dropped the series to LSU last weekend.
LSU fighting for one of those 12 SEC tournament spots as well.
5-1 lead for Ole Miss in the third. All with 2 outs back in the second. Ole Miss home run, single, and then double brought in all those runs. Of course, Jace Lavalette doing what he does best. Crushed a home run last inning. His 27th of the season. It's 2-1 to Furness. Will Furness had a busy April at the plate. He hit .378 for the entire month. 10 RBIs, 3 homers. Calmed down a bit in May, but still has a homer and 4 RBIs. He works the leadoff walk here in the third.
That's a good take right there. Breaking ball 3-1. He's in the zone a long way. Furness lays off. It does feel like Furness has swung the bat better since they put him at first base every day.
Why do you think that is?
I just think sometimes it's hard, especially players that their entire career they played the game. They're in the field, they hit. They're in the field, they hit. And all of a sudden, all they're doing is hitting once every 3 innings. And hitting's hard enough, but sometimes you feel like you're not in the game, and all of a sudden you run out there and you're in the game. It kind of takes a special guy to be able to DH consistently. I mean, occasionally having a guy DH is a little different than if that's all you do.
Cortez still on the mound, 2 for Texas A&M. Croft checked at it. They do appeal, but Croft didn't go around. Well, so Cortez in his last outing at LSU went 4 1/3 innings. I think Texas A&M may be looking for that too here. Another long relief outing for him.
I don't think there's any question. They want to get some outs. No one currently throwing in that A&M bullpen.
But you saw on your screen the career of Ethan Groff playing in his 205th game today.
Had a great start at Tulane in his career, transferred in. We're talking about the portal. He's had a solid senior season here at Ole Miss.
It's a lot of games, and he also missed time too in his final year at Tulane. He missed about a month.
I think he missed the last month of the season.
Yeah. Oh. It's coming in at 99.
Man, you could hear that too. That one hurt. Ball just got away from Cortez. Done a really good breaking ball to pitch before, off the plate away. Had him chasing, tries to come in. It looks like fastball. Just doesn't locate it, and Groff pays the price. First 2 hit by pitches for Ole Miss today were 80-mile-an-hour off speed. This is, right in the side. Yeah, Cortez certainly no intent there. See, he's disappointed. Head in the count. Groff going to be able to stay in. That one will probably leave a mark tomorrow, though, huh? 99, you said?
99 said the radar gun on the scoreboard here. And now you got a young freshman at the plate who's been hitting the ball, seen it pretty well in his last couple outings.
Ole Miss been trying to get Smithwick in the lineup somehow because the bat's been playing.
Chops this to first. Bitterup goes to second for 1. But they do not try to throw out Campbell at first base. Instead, the twist and look at Furness at third instead.
This was a good play by Bitterup. A lot of times you're going to see that first baseman take that ball and just take the easy out, run over to first base. Because he's got to get a throw around the runner right there. That was not easy. But by making that play, and eliminates the second man in scoring position. See, last time Reagan Burford was at the plate, he took that fastball and he deposited it to the wall just to the left of the batter's eye in center field.
Now comes up with runners on the corners. That was his 4th home run of the season.
And the other thing that play by Binderup does is keeps double play in order. You just run over and touch first base, not only 2 men in scoring position, you also can't get out of the inning with the one swing ground ball. There's your triple digits.
Yep.
Scoreboard says 100.
It's really lighting it up, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, you just don't have much time to think about that one coming to the plate.
Then he comes at you with 89.
Yeah, on a slider. And locates it. It was practically unhit. Oh, and that's 2-0. Like, literally, if you throw 100, there should be some sort of rule in baseball that says when the hitter's ahead in the count, he's earned it, he gets the fastball. Not how it works. He gets back-to-back sliders.
That's that chess game between pitcher and hitter, and I love it.
Yeah, as a former hitting coach and former hitter, there's nothing about breaking balls at 90 when you're ahead in the count that I like.
See to the career of Reagan Burford. This year, sporadic starts sprinkled in throughout the season. A lot of pinch hit moments too, but getting the start today at second base. Had the start last night after a great Wednesday night at the plate for Ole Miss. Skies it to right, but foul.
And there's a 3-2 slider. That one was up. That was much more hittable. We've seen Cortez with some really good sliders down and away to right-handed hitters. Really hard pitch to hit. Hung that one a little bit. Burford would like to have that one back.
Double fisting and the foul ball, I see. That takes talent. Smithwick breaks for second, but Burford makes contact with it.
Yeah, that's a good piece of hitting, too, because that is a fastball in his hands, and that was another 100-mile-an-hour fastball. After 3 consecutive sliders just to get a piece of it and stay alive. Burford trying to put this ball in play. Obviously, Furness going to be on the move on a ball on the ground over at third base.
Ole Miss 4 for 7 at the plate with runners on base today. Smithwick moves again. And it's dribbled foul, third base line.
Fans responding to this at bat by Burford. Trying to encourage him.
Pretty good crowd on hand today. Graduation weekend in Oxford. Runner moves and Burford continues to fight.
Another good pitch to hit there. That is a hitter's strike. We've seen Cortez throw some pitcher's strikes. That was one. Burford again. We said it a second ago, like to have back. That's a slider up in the zone, right over the heart of the plate. Took a really good swing at it, fouled it straight back. Smithwick was on the move over at first base.
I think Smithwick's tired. He keeps running from first base to second. He's really getting his steps in.
Yeah, I think at this point everybody's tired. Burford's tired swinging the bat. Cortez ready to get Burford out of the box. Smithwick continuing to make those 90-foot sprints over at first. Furness the only one. He just gets to stand over at third.
Burford puts the bat on the ball out to the left. And Sorrell makes the catch. Is it plenty deep for Furness? No relay home. Another Rebby for Burford. 6-1 Ole Miss in the third.
A&M actually went and appealed over at third base, thinking that Furness left too soon. They did not get the call. Really great at bat by Burford. And you can see that was close. Whether Furness left or not, but Morris Hodges, who was in charge of making that call as the home plate umpire, said he did not leave early, and Ole Miss adds on, gets that one run back And the Laviolette homer in the top of the third. That was a great at-bat by Burford, by the way. Really tremendous. Looks like it was a good call. Great camera work, synced up right there where we could see. Furness did not leave early.
It's hard to time, too, when you're, especially at third base, when you got the fly ball behind you.
And you're worried because you're not the fastest guy, that you got to get to home plate. You try to get every start that you can, every inch of space.
Trayson Hughes with a single today back in the second inning, where Ole Miss scored 5 runs in the second. They've added on 1 here in the third after a solo shot by Laviolette in the top half of this inning.
It was a leadoff walk. It's just always seemed to come back to bite you.
And Texas A&M came into today with the second lowest amount of batters walked this season. Only a little over 3 walks per 9 coming into today. Those 11th in the NCAA, second in the SEC. And today, 3 hit by pitches. And that walk, like you mentioned. Free passes have come back to hurt the Aggies today. It's an Ole Miss offense, too, that's taken a long time to come around. 13th in the SEC in team batting average, .264. A little over 6.5 runs scored per game, 13th in the SEC, last in the conference, 2 in hits per game. And today, 6 runs so far in the bottom half of the third, 5 hits. I think that come from behind win last night's carrying into today, Keith?
Well, certainly there was some momentum. I mean, that was a big win. You could see there was a lot of emotion from Ole Miss and from the crowd last night. And they have gotten off to a good start here this afternoon.
Hughes went around, strike 3, and that gets Texas A&M out of the inning without a hit here in the
impressive baseball team. And they have been phenomenal at home this season, 30-2, which is why that top 8 national seed is so important, because they would get to play at home all the way to Omaha. And right now, again, locked into that. But I'm sure Jim Schlossnagle would like to win a few more games between now and when all those selections are chosen.
We'd hate to drop back-to-back series. In fact, last weekend was the first time all year that Texas A&M dropped back-to-back games. 0-2 count to Appel. And Schlossnagle even said, I mean, if we do that in a month from now, our season's over.
True.
And he reminded his team of that. Fly ball out to right, and Hughes drifts near the line. But that was way up there. Out number 1.
And you can see what wind we have was helping that ball. You can watch Hughes right there as he kind of drifted back almost to the warning track.
There is that gentle breeze, you can see it.
Gentle breeze, that's nice.
Did you like that?
Soothing.
Did that?
Soothing.
Kind of gave off Masters vibes, didn't it? Harsh wind. That one kind of cuts a little more, doesn't it? Gentle breeze, I guess, is smoother.
Mm-hmm. Didn't have gentle breeze on my bingo card when I came up.
No,
today.
you
I
didn't?
Did not.
Okay. Hayden shot at the plate. Strikeout today. Coach Schloss was talking about earlier today, you know, what constitutes a good season? And I thought he had some good words here. You know, can you have a brutal regular season, kind of like Ole Miss did a couple years ago, be the last team in and all of a sudden win a national championship, or have the season like they're having now, 41 wins, just 9 losses, and then get bounced early in the postseason and not live up to those national championship expectations. something to really ponder and think about.
Well, I think ultimately everybody would take the ending being better than the beginning.
Yeah.
I would say historically the teams that are 40-9 have a better opportunity to have success in the postseason. You'd like to win as many of these regular season games as you can. Play at home as much as you can.
But he said, right now, I will take the number 4 seed in Anchorage with our team healthy. And that's huge, too, health. And that's what he's trying to get across there. They are healthy right now.
They won't be the 4 seed in Anchorage either.
No, they won't.
Anchorage isn't hosting.
Could you imagine
No.
a regional in Anchorage?
No.
What would go into that? I don't know.
You're not going to have to worry about it, Jake.
You won't, but hypothetically,
There
Keith.
will never be a regional hosted in Anchorage. Slosh will not have to fly a plane to Anchorage with his team. Yeah, you could play at midnight with no lights.
Yeah, the sun doesn't go down, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't even think they have, other than summer collegiate baseball up
They
there.
do. Good summer league.
Yeah, that's about it. Finally, strike 3, says Liam Doyle. After a battle at the plate for Hayden Schott, his 6th strikeout today.
Yeah, and if you're Schott, you're facing a fastball pitcher, right? You're going to get 3-2 fastball, right? No. You're going to get the slider. Schott can't reach it. That looks in disbelief. I guarantee you the numbers show that Doyle's going to throw like 90% fastballs in that count. Mike Bianco, who calls the pitches, did not. Doyle executed, and Schott heads back to the bench.
Ollie Camarillo flied out to center field his first time up back in the 2nd. What have you made of Liam Doyle so far, Keith? 2 outs here in the 4th inning, 6 Ks, just allowed that 1 home run to Lafayette.
I think if you're in the Ole Miss dugout, you can't be happier with what you're seeing. Filling up the strike zone, throwing that fastball over the plate. When Ole Miss has seen Doyle get in trouble is when he has trouble throwing strikes, and particularly early in the game. And we just haven't seen that at all. You're typically going to tell your pitcher solo home runs aren't going to beat you. Most of the time solo home runs are not. And right now that's all A&M's got against him.
That was a beauty, 1-2. He's at 72 pitches right now, 2 outs in the 4th. Obviously, that could change. The Aggies did some damage with 2 outs last night. Home crowd behind Doyle. Hit in the air to right. Hughes loses the hat. Makes the catch, out number 3. And Liam Doyle sees the minimum. Justin Lampkin got the start today for Texas A&M as Eli Birch takes up an in from Chris Cortez. And Lampkin only went an inning and 2/3. He allowed 5 runs, all earned. 4 hits, too. Also allowed a home run to Reagan Burford. 2-run shot in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, and you just didn't see the Lampkin thing coming, right? He faces 3 in the top of the 1st. He gets the first 2 guys out in the 2nd. You see Lampkin in the dugout there. And then just couldn't get another out. Ole Miss ends up putting the 5 spot up in the 2nd, and Cortez replaced Lampkin.
Eli Birch 1 for 1 today, Keith. 2nd inning, got a single. Guy that's just hasn't really found an answer offensively. Defensively, Ole Miss's best defensive option behind the plate, but works the walk here. He's off to a good start this afternoon.
Remember, Cortez walked Furness to lead off the 3rd. Furness came around and scored in an inning that almost didn't get a base hit. Lead-off walks just drive you bonkers if you're coaching. And again, A&M, a team that doesn't walk many people. If you're going to walk them, you really don't want it to be the leadoff guy, and you really don't want it to be the 9th hitter that has struggled some offensively.
Yeah, you mentioned those walks. 2nd lowest amount of walks from this A&M pitching staff in the SEC, and that hits the helmet of Hill. Shakes that one off. He'll go down to first base. It's the 4th hit batter today by Texas A&M pitching.
Yeah, watch where this ball ends up. I mean, that ball hits Hill on top of the head. It goes on top of the backstop. It was a slider. Hits him on the back of the helmet. Hopefully he is okay. Normally that helmet will protect you. You see that smile on Hill's face, probably a good sign.
He's just glad that that one wasn't 100 miles an hour.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And think about that.
Mike Bianco and Josh Porter, the Ole Miss trainer, out checking on the Hill. Looks like he's going to be fine. And Ole Miss with a good start here in the bottom of the fourth. Couple guys on, nobody out.
Well, in the third inning, it started the same way. Will Furniss walked, and Ethan Groff was hit by a pitch. However, his was 100 miles an hour in the ribcage. Luke Hill's was not here in the fourth. And like Keith mentioned earlier, Ole Miss did score one run in that third inning without a hit. And Fisher sends this the other way, but foul.
Fisher saw a 99-mile-an-hour fastball the first time, right? Drove it in the right center gap. Cortez comes right back. That was 100. Fisher with a good swing, a little bit late.
The Aggies have hit one Ole Miss hitter once in every inning today.
By the way, you know you throw hard when you throw a changeup, right? It's 89. That's a legit changeup. Like, it's 10 miles an hour off. Still almost 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
There's some fastballs across the country that
no doubt. We saw it last night.
Yeah.
Prager's in that upper 80s, maybe touching a 90.
Nobody out, 2 on for Ole Miss. Already 6-1 lead in the fourth. Fisher pops up. Right side. Will the sun be an issue for Chestnut? No.
3-1 slider, and it looked like Fisher was guessing 3-1 slider. He wasn't fooled at all, just got up under it. Big swing. Disappointed as he walks back to the dugout. That is a big out for Cortez, though.
And with one down in the double play, still in play as well. Jackson Ross, who's 0 for 2 today. Grounded into a double play earlier, flew out to left field the second time up. Ole Miss going for the series win over Texas A&M today. A bubble team in Ole Miss that could really use a series win, especially against Texas A&M, number 3 team in the country. Boy, that would do a ton for this Ole Miss resume. Gets away from Appel. And now 2 are on in scoring position for Jackson Ross with 1 away. And you take away that double play ball too.
Yeah, Appel tries to backhand that, just can't quite get to it. And Ole Miss will certainly take that, moving the runners up.
Texas A&M in danger of dropping back-to-back SEC series.
A lot of baseball left, this A&M offense, but they certainly don't want Ole Miss to keep adding on. And I'm going to play the infield in here, as a matter of fact.
Chops it over the head of Binder up into right. Birch is in. Here comes Luke Hill. The throw from right. Not in time.
And A&M playing the infield in certainly led to that being a base hit. Binder up's back at first base, even at 6'6", couldn't get to it in. This is a fastball that Ross just gets the barrel to, grounds hard out in front of home plate, and works perfectly for Ole Miss. And that's going to be the day for Cortez as Jim Schlossnagle heads to the mound. You see Luke Hill, obviously excited. You see that cannon from Montgomery by pitches. Good 2-out hitting for Ole Miss.
Furniss tries to bunt, and instead he puts it into Texas A&M's bullpen or dugout.
Well, with the shift, if Furniss bunts the ball anywhere past the pitcher to the left side, it will be a base hit. And you see a good shot. There's no one left of the normal shortstop position.
He's cued it down the left field line before.
And the thing sometimes I think hitters think, like Furniss right there trying to bunt, is that they're trying to make it like a bunt for a base hit where you're just trying to get out of the bunt. You don't have to do that. Just square around, bunt it down the third baseline.
kind of making
like a sack bunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you get it where the pitcher can't pick it up, you're going to get to first base.
Can you overcomplicate a bunt?
Sure. I mean, try to get out of the box too quickly. Most times when guys bunt for a hit, that's what they do. You end up running down the line before you get the ball down. And the truth of the matter is where you bunt the ball typically is more important than how fast you get out of the box. You got a box fast, you bunt it right back to the pitcher, it's going to be out. You roll it perfectly down the third baseline, you don't have to get the box all that great.
Rolls this up the middle. Throw to first in time. Camarillo makes the play.
Yeah, that's a heck of a play by Camarillo. Of course, there's nobody at second base to be able to throw that ball to try to turn a double play, but Camarillo had to go to his left. Anytime you make that turn and put your back to the infield, you got to make sure you pick up the first baseman. I mean, you know where he is, but man, when your head's spinning like that, sometimes it's hard to pick him up. It was well done.
Ethan Groffo for one today, hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Jackson Ross at second base. Weston Moss, too, number 55, right-handed pitcher by Perfect Game. Ranked 182nd overall in his recruiting class, nationally. However, in Texas, number 6 ranked right-handed pitcher in the state, number 17 overall. Got an invite to the MLB Draft Combine, too, in Phoenix. Talented young arm. Nearly hit him again.
Groff, you took on 100 last time in your side, 92 up by your head.
That'll reignite the
game's
PTSD.
The game's not near as much fun when that's happening.
Slices this into left. Gets down for a base hit. One hops the wall. Ross is in easy. Groff with a stand-up double. And an RBI for him in back-to-back games.
How about Ethan Groff? Again, we just said the ball buzzes the light tower, and this one is down and away. Just reaches out, gets the barrel to it, keeps it fair, and this Ole Miss offense today, this is something else. I'd be happy too if I was Ethan Groff.
It's all about the celebrations now when you get to second base, right? Who's got the coolest one?
Agreed. I don't know how you come up with that.
Campbell Smithwick takes in, and that hit him. Morris Hodges says it hit Smithwick too. Man, the hit by pitches is just unbelievable. That's the 5th one by Aggies pitching.
It's just been one of those days. Jim Schlossnagle going to come out. He's questioning Morris Hodges about that hit by pitch.
Schlossnagle 2. Conversation comes to an end, and he's back to his dugout.
I will say it did not look like Morris Hodges reacted until Smithwick started towards first base.
Well, what do they always say? Just walk confidently, and hopefully you'll get the call.
It works that way sometimes. Burford has had 2 of the best at-bats of the day for Ole Miss. Home run his first time up, and then that great at-bat with the sacrifice fly, where he fouled off multiple pitches. There's that changeup for Moss.
4th home run of the year. That was back in the 2nd inning. Put Ole Miss on the board. Strike 3 call. Moss rings up Burford.
Ole Miss's first step went enough to get to Hoover.
Certainly yesterday and today help.
Well, if Ole Miss is able to hold on today, in the last score I saw, Missouri was losing to Auburn big. That certainly puts Ole Miss in a great position to make it to Hoover. Then Ole Miss's next step, as we've talked about many times today, is just get as many wins as you can get. Try to make it interesting on Selection Sunday or Monday.
Caden Sorrell went around. So now he's behind in the count, 0-2. Jeffrey Mancias, the third base umpire, saying he went around. Doyle with 6 strikeouts today. He's been masterful.
We've seen Doyle be good this season at times, but again, this lineup is different. When you're good against this lineup, it takes something special. So far, Doyle has just done a fantastic job.
Hack and miss, strike 3. Back-to-back days, Ole Miss starters have 7 strikeouts.
This looks like it's certainly either the cutter or the slider. Definitely not the fastball right there. Good location. Sorrell out front.
If you're Liam Doyle, too, and you see what Riley Maddox did last night, that helps as a Saturday guy, too, doesn't it? Set it in that tone for the weekend?
Well, certainly you'd rather follow a guy that had success than a guy that did not. But they're so different. I mean, Maddox is the sinker baller. You know, he's not going to blow you away. Doyle is just basically the fastball guy. We're seeing a few off speed, but very different pitchers, one right-handed, one left-handed. So there's not a lot of carryover from the standpoint of how am I going to pitch somebody. But I do think Maddox last night probably gave some confidence to the entire pitching staff. If we execute our pitches, you know, we have a chance to get these guys out.
2 quick strikes to Chestnut.
The pitch count is the one thing. I mean, we're here in the 5th inning with 1 out. That was pitch number 80.
Here's the 2-2.
And the pitch count number matters because, you know, you're at 80 pitches at this point. Typically now in college baseball, you're just not going to see a guy go much more than 100. You'd like to see that 11 to 15 kind of pitch inning. I mean, obviously, if you do 11 times 9, you get to 100.
Great math.
Give or take. And certainly he's not on pace to go that deep. But strikeout pitchers, typically the pitch count runs up because you don't get that first pitch ground ball to short.
Fly ball out to left. And Jackson Ross strolls under it. It's also the fourth fly out, too, for Texas A&M offensively today.
And again, not unusual because the ball's going to be elevated. A lot of the outs will come by balls in the air. The exact opposite of what you see when Maddox throws for Ole Miss because he's going to throw that sinker. He's going to get all sorts of ground balls.
You know, one more thing on Maddox. Last night he told everybody post-game that he got his wisdom teeth out on Monday. Had an infection on the left side and had to get in a quick surgery to get them removed. And Mike Bianco nor Riley Maddox were sure if he was going to pitch last night. And you know, everybody reacts differently to getting their wisdom teeth out.
But nobody likes it.
No, you either look like Alvin the Chipmunk
no good
the next
reaction.
couple days.
Yeah, there's no good reaction.
Or you don't.
Yeah, sometimes if something works and then you pitch well after, you know, you want to keep doing it. That's not one of those things, right?
No.
He's not going back next week.
A one-hopper to Luke Hill at short and completes the out. 7 straight retired for Liam Doyle, the native. And he faces Trayson Hughes to begin this 5th inning.
Cool 95. Scouting report says can be up to 99. Just really don't understand this game anymore.
We have a Apache helicopter just...
Yeah, I'm not really sure I understand that one either,
yeah.
Jake.
And those are Morton's numbers, his 10th appearance. All that, too, as a freshman this season. Last outing was April the 30th. You know, my problem here, Keith, is that a lot of people paid good money to watch this game, and they're just up there floating around in a helicopter watching it for free. No, I'm kidding.
They have made the pass three or four times around the stadium. We're assuming everything is just fine.
Yeah, we're
we have
hoping.
not been told anything different.
No. Hopefully they're out just for a midday stroll.
You said the Apache thing pretty confidently, too. You got the right helicopter there?
I wasn't confident during break. You know, thanks for calling me out on that, Keith. Yeah.
Yep. Just dropped it like you just know your helicopters.
The crew helped me out with that.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Yeah, the crew helped me out identify that. Hughes works the leadoff walk here in the 5th.
Third straight inning, Ole Miss has had the leadoff man on by walk. That'll make you pull your hair out in the dugout if you're A&M.
Well, from a team, too, in A&M, they just don't walk people. They don't allow those free passes. They've hit 5 batters, and they've walked so many.
Yeah, it's definitely not been a day that the A&M faithful are used to seeing on the mound.
Eli Birch with a single and a walk today. Just 6 hits in his last 15 games. Well, single for him today, his 16th hit of the season. So 3 walks, 5 hit by pitch.
Yeah, 8 free passes, and here we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's not a good recipe to getting guys or keep a team from scoring. And certainly Ole Miss has taken advantage of that.
And Ole Miss is patient at the plate, too. I mean, they're 4th in the SEC in walks this season. Nearly 6 walks a game. But today they've been willing to take a few more bruises than normal.
And really, it's not a lot of those where you say, oh, wow, did he put his arm into it? I mean, A&M's just had pitches get away from him.
I mean, pitches to the helmet, to the rib cage. I mean, they're stuff you can't really just get out of the way from. Pitch walk to Birch. Entering the weekend, one of 4 SEC teams in the top 20, 277 walks. And A&M leads the nation in walks, too, as an offense.
I think in the non-conference action, Ole Miss was either 1 or 2 for most of that.
He goes bunt, but it gets to the backstop past Appel. Runners move up into scoring position at 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, it can't work out any better for Ole Miss. How many square around? You're willing to give up an out, it looked like. Assuming he wasn't taken. He was actually bunting to move the runners and didn't have to. And if you're Ole Miss, the reason you're bunting there is that there is a 10-run rule. Obviously, you got to play 7, but Ole Miss trying to move those men up and did not have to use an out to do so.
And now Hill can swing away. He's already had 5 straight multi-hit games coming into today.
And Morton just missing consistently down and away right now with the fastball. Got to believe Hill is taking here. It's an aggressive team. They'll certainly give the 3-0 hit. Doesn't feel like this is one of those times after back-to-back walks.
Gets away from Appel, but Hughes stays at 3rd base.
And that's probably going to do it for Morton when you consistently miss the same
day. And he swings at the first pitch.
That was almost self-defense, right? That ball was in. I think he'd made up his mind. He was swinging at that fastball.
Fisher with that 2 RBI double, now in a 7-game hit streak. It says longest hit streak of the season. That was a home run swing, wasn't it?
Yeah, big sweeping breaking ball right there, right on the hands. Good pitch. Bud Knife has thrown him in so far. 2 fastballs and a breaking ball. Good block by Appel.
Bud Knife's last outing was in the midweek win against Rice. He threw an inning in that big 16-3 win over Rice earlier this week. Fisher gets a piece of it.
Well, A&M like to have more than 2 at bats left, right? So they really need to limit scoring right here. I mean, with their offense, I know they feel like they're never out of a game, but well, they are certainly in trouble now.
They get Fisher. That's a huge first out for the Aggies.
We talked about Bud Knife couldn't come into a worse situation. And you had to add Andrew Fisher into the equation, and that was some kind of good pitching right there. That was a breaking ball right on the hands, tied Fisher up. Now 1 pitch will get you out of the inning. Not much momentum A&M can get right now, but certainly working their way out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam would be some momentum.
This is Bud Knife's first taste of SEC play, too. And he comes in this situation.
Yeah, fastball's not going to overpower you. You're talking 90, 91. That breaking ball's been good so far. After a couple of really big arms that we've seen, I guess 3 in a row for A&M that throw it really hard.
And now he faces one of the most, if not the most, disciplined player in Jackson Ross at the plate. A hit in 11 of his last 12 games.
Got the huge double last night.
7-game hit streak, too, coming into today. That's got that single back in the 4th inning, too, to extend that streak. Crowd didn't like that.
That's pitcher strike. That is a good breaking ball on 2-0. Certainly not one Jackson Ross wants to swing at.
Ross is...
It's such a good eye, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one. When you're out there on the mound, that's one the hitter's supposed to swing at. That ball is in the zone like 57 of the 60 feet. Just breaks off the outer edge. Ross takes it.
Three and 2.
A lot of breaking balls.
Ross's nickname is Sergeant. This team, that's all they do. They call him Sergeant. And Jackson even said himself, I've never had a nickname like Sergeant, and used as much as his teammates call him that. Normally they just call him Ross. Swings through and misses. Back-to-back Ks for Bud Knife.
Wow, what a job, huh? Part of the order for Ole Miss. Bases loaded, nobody out. Not only does he get the 2 outs, he gets back-to-back strikeouts. This is that sweeping breaking ball. Ross had taken the first 3. This is more of a hitter's pitch there. Up in the zone. Ross swings through it. Oh, he is a little furnace away from getting out of the inning.
A bouncer to second base. Chestnut cleans it up. What a relief outing for Zane Bud Knife. It's in the SEC, a team that's hitting .312. Limited them to just 3 hits so far. They average nearly 11 hits a game. The largest margin of loss for Texas A&M this year is 2 runs, we've just been told.
Well, they avoided a disaster last inning. This thing could have absolutely, the wheels could have come off for A&M. It's outside of the bottom of the 5th inning. I don't know how this day could have gone better for Ole Miss.
The average Hovack at the plate. He's down 0-2.
That's a remarkable number, though, huh? 50th game, 51st game of the season, and the worst loss they've had this year is 2 runs.
Doyle has 7 strikeouts today. Hard hit ball past the diving Hill. Texas A&M gets something going. Leadoff single. Their first leadoff hit of the ball game today. Have you tomorrow?
Saw Dave at the ballpark earlier today.
Yeah, he's here taking it in. I think after a round of golf.
I think he and Ben both played golf, from what
Yep.
I understand.
Ben's got his family in town. They left their sport coats here. They said, please don't steal them. I guess Dave's had that issue in the past, so I said I'll do my best.
Be sure not to do that.
Ben's wouldn't fit me because he's 6 whatever, and I'm not.
You know, Dave married an Ole Miss girl.
Oh, really?
Yes, he did.
Actually, yeah. And then, yeah. And they, he was a Florida State guy. He mentioned that last night. They were going back and forth. Jace Lavalette at the plate. Belton a home run to right in the 3rd inning. Speaking of Ben McDonald, Keith, a little birdie told me that you had 2 singles against Ben McDonald back in 1989.
Oh, that's a good thing, huh?
Yeah.
I was awful drafted by the same team as Ben McDonald in 1989. Ben was 1-1 in the draft. I was not. I was a lot of rounds later. Our paths never crossed in Baltimore.
Lavalette.
That one is up there.
Yeah, that's way up there. And foul bounces off the netting. Two and two.
They may put a star in that notebook, right, for the bottom of the 5th inning right there. That almost had a chance to absolutely put this one away, or at least feel like they put it away. A&M, again, not in good shape. You don't want to be down 9-1. But some life. Feels like maybe an inning Doyle needs to go out and have that kind of that shutdown inning. Weird to say that 9-1, but just telling you, you're in that dugout, you know what offense is in the A&M dugout. When you're in that Ole Miss dugout and you have chance, bases loaded, nobody out, and you don't score.
Scorches this to right, but right at Trayson Hughes. And Grahovac back to first base.
Yeah, they have hammered 2 balls in a row this inning, huh? Grahovac went down and got one. Base hit to left, and I don't think you could hit a baseball any harder than that.
Just right at Hughes.
We don't get exit velocity in our booth, but that one undoubtedly was in that 110 range, I would think. That was a rocket.
Native Mississippian Braden Montgomery at the plate. 1 for 2 today. Sends this to Burford. Foot race to second. The stretch. No, Furness is off.
Well, every Ole Miss player immediately pointing at first saying, let's get a review. This is a really weird play because there's no one for Burford to flip it to. There's no infielder, so he's got to sprint. Throws it on the run. Furness reaches.
Wow.
Yeah, again, I'm a big how players react, and all of the Ole Miss infielders that had a really good angle immediately were.
Double plays are big, right? But that double play felt big. Even though this is an 8-run ball game, knowing what Texas A&M has in their dugout offensively, that was such a big
I know
double
it feels
play.
like we're hyping it up. You're 9-1, and I mean, what's it really matter that one out? But that did feel like a beginning because Ole Miss had an opportunity in the bottom of the 5th to score and really open it up. Didn't do it. A&M swung the bat. That was 3 hard hit balls that inning, and they get nothing.
All free passes for Ole Miss in that 5th inning. 3 straight walks by Isaac Morton. Then this guy, Zane Budmeiv, comes in, strikes out 2, gets 1 to ground out.
Yeah, you want to know who was the first guy to meet Morton? Meet Budmeiv when he came in? That was Morton, because when you walk the bases loaded, you're certainly expecting to give up a couple of those runs. You didn't give up any of them. It makes the ERA feel better.
Croft tags this to center, but Lavalette makes the catch.
Until my son was a college pitcher, I didn't think a whole lot about that kind of thing. Think a lot about it when your son's the one that walks all 3 guys, right? Because they can't control it anymore, and those are just his run scoring.
I was just going to say that ERA's a lot happier now.
No doubt.
Smithwick 0 for 1 today, but his 4th time at the plate. He's been hit by a pitch twice. There's Bud Mai pitching against his first SEC opponent.
Well, he was thrown into the fire. Middle of the Ole Miss lineup. Bases loaded, nobody out, and boy, did he respond.
I think he earned himself another SEC outing before the regular season ends.
Well, he certainly so far has given himself an opportunity, and there is no one up in the A&M bullpen. That was a little high. It was a breaking ball that got away from him.
I was going to say, every now and then one gets away from you.
Did. Counts the same, though. It's a ball. Just one ball. Can't throw more than one ball on one pitch.
Hard hit ball right to second. Chestnut fields on one hop.
Defensively, A&M, really good baseball team. You look at their numbers, and then just having watched them last night and so far today, they make the plays they're supposed to make.
Talked about that second inning and the 5 runs that Ole Miss scored. Technically, it started with Campbell Smithwick, right? Getting hit by a pitch with 2 outs, but Reagan Burford was next. He hit a 2-run shot, and he bounces one to Camarillo at short. Bud Mai has retired 6 straight since. Jackson Appel leads things off here in the 7th inning for Texas A&M. 1 for 2 today. And that single back in the 1st inning. In fact, he was the last Aggie base runner. Back in the 1st inning. Well, I should say Texas A&M had a single in the 6th. That was their first base runner since the 1st inning. That's how good Liam Doyle was today. If you're Texas A&M, though, Keith, aren't you happy that you're seeing somebody else other than Liam Doyle right now?
Yeah, no matter how good Mallitz's stuff is, you're just glad Doyle's out. That's exactly right. I mean, you phrased it perfectly. They just didn't threaten. They hit the solo home run, and that really was it. I think they left 2 men on base.
2-2 to Appel. And Mallins, too, coming off back-to-back scoreless outings. Innings scoreless against Mississippi State in the Governor's Cup, and then we talked about that Game 2 outing against Auburn. Knocked to second. Burford on one hop.
And Burford's had a good day. Offensively, a couple of really good at-bats. Making all the plays. And Ole Miss is a team that has certainly struggled defensively. Routine plays at times have been a challenge. Thus far today, no errors on the board.
Hayden Schott the DH at the plate. You mentioned the defense for Ole Miss. 60 errors this year. That's leading the conference by 13.
Yeah, and just so uncharacteristic. I mean, Mike Bianco just always puts a team out there that makes plays.
Hayden Schott's a transfer from Columbia, spent the last 2 years there. 2-time All-Ivy League. He knew former Aggies Trevor Werner and Jordan Thompson. They played together in the California Collegiate League 2 years ago. So when Schott hit the portal, reached out to those guys, or vice versa, those guys reached out to him, and they just talked about Coach Schloss and the family environment that Schloss has and the culture and how good it is here, and here as in College Station. Knocks this into center. Boy, the Aggies glad they have him.
And after a couple of strikeouts, Schott was the happiest of the Aggies that he wasn't facing Liam Doyle again. There's a breaking ball just up in the zone. Nice job keeping the hands back, driving it right back through the middle of the field.
You know, Keith, I guess I kind of forgot about this because the Ivy League prohibits graduate students from playing varsity sports. So technically, Hayden Schott was taking visits before he even left Columbia, which has to feel strange, right? Still playing for your current team, but looking at where you're going to play as a graduate student, this one gets away from Birch and he moves up to second base.
Yeah, Birch had no shot there. That's a fastball. Bounce in front of home plate and away.
It's Mason Morris and Ole Miss's bullpen.
Yeah, it's a right-handed arm that's just gotten more and more action as the year has gone on.
Pitched in that 15-inning marathon on Wednesday. Ali Camarillo 0 for 2 today, 2 flyouts. He too another transfer from CSUN. All Big West first team honors a season ago. And 2-0 to him. He was 0 for 3 last night, also 0 for 3 earlier this week against Rice. His first back-to-back hitless games since early March. Sees the breaking stuff, 2-1. I mentioned some of these transfers that Texas A&M went out to get, and talented guys. All of those guys contributed such a massive way this year for the Aggies. 2-2, and that's the day and the age.
It is. It is what college baseball is now. It's almost like free agents in the major leagues, where you're going to go out and try to get the best 5, 8, 10 free agents that you can get. The ones you hit on, that's the year you're going to be really good.
Ole Miss did the same thing. Aired out to center. And Ethan Groff barely has to move deep enough for Schott to tag from second base and reach third standing. They did appeal to see if Schott left second base early, and he did not.
I think Ole Miss is going.
See any either. I'm with you. Worth a shot, though, I guess.
The call is confirmed. The runner at second base did not leave early.
It's Ray Gregson, our first base umpire. Sorrell at the plate, waits for the first one to go by.
Another great job by our crew, getting shots, helping Birmingham.
The crew was fed well today, I was told. They had a group barbecue before the game.
Thanks for the invite,
yeah,
crew.
Thanks for the plate.
Appreciate
Actually,
that
I do have a plate after the game. Shane Sanford cooked it all. The man that pushes all the buttons. 0-2, 2 outs against Sorrell, who struck out twice today. Swung on and missed. Trayson Hughes takes upstairs. Did he go around? He did not.
Yeah, I mean, Ole Miss is a team that has been run ruled a handful of times in SEC games. Obviously, A&M has not.
Definitely went around there. Hughes with a single today. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zane Budmaev, who has been fantastic since he came in the game, has done his job to keep it from being a 10-run rule.
Jack Bell now in at second base. 3 check swings in this at bat, and Hughes has gone around twice. And Caden Kent back in the game. He played last night. Tugs it down the line. Diving stop by Kemp. Side flip to first. Web gem play for Kent, who just came in this game.
That ball will find you, right? You come in the game, and this is some kind of play. I mean, that's got double or triple written all over it. Kent with the backhand flip after the dive. Nice job by Budmaev getting over to cover. It is absolutely robbing Trayson Hughes of extra bases.
His dad is Jeff Kent, who played 19 years in the MLB, 5-time All-Star.
Power hitting infielder.
Yeah, it's in his blood. That brings up Eli Birch. But since Zane Budmeiv came in the 5th with bases loaded and nobody out, he's retired 7 straight. Birch down on the count, 1-2. With that single 2 for Birch back in the 2nd, that snapped an 0 for 11 rut that he was in the last 4 games. Had a hit last weekend in the first game of the Auburn series. Bounces this left side and off the glove of Grahovac. Ricochets into left center, and Birch is on first base for a 4th time today.
And this works out well for Birch when Grahovac dives after this, because I think Camarillo was going to throw him out at first base. Birch does not run that well, but Grahovac trying to get to the ball. As third baseman, you're supposed to try to get to everything you can. Ball goes off of his glove. Rebels get a base runner on, and Luke Hill back at the plate.
Hill drives this into right, and Montgomery makes the squeeze. That brings up Andrew Fisher. Run rule territory 2, Ole Miss up 9-1 on Texas A&M.
You do have to talk about it when Fisher comes to the plate.
Yep.
He would be the winning run with 19 home runs on the season.
It's 19 times with Kemp Alderman, who hit 19 homers last season. 5th most in a single season in Ole Miss history.
He tried. Of course, he doesn't really ever get cheated, right? I mean, like, there's never a time he just punches at the ball. How good's Budmeiv been, huh?
Been really good. That's
one base hit?
Yeah. That single by Birch. Retired 7 straight.
First SEC action?
Yep.
That's awesome.
He might get one more after this.
I'm going to think that he's earning some opportunities. If this game continues this way, there won't be many Aggies that feel good, but Budmeiv's going to get on the bus feeling pretty good, and he should. That was a swing. It's fastball 90. Right on it. Might not throw that one again.
Lost that one.
I haven't seen many changeups. That was a changeup there. That one up and away. Breaking ball's been good. I bet he goes back to that sweeper right here. Remember, he got Fisher on his hands last time with the breaking ball. See if that isn't what they go back to. That wasn't as good a one. That was up, out over the plate. Did go back to the breaking ball, though.
8th pitch at the at-bat. Sends this the other way into left, but Sorrell ranges over to make the catch. These fans wanted it.
As well as they have through 7 innings today, there's reason to have life. I mean, almost legitimately, if they hold on to this one, they've obviously won this series, a chance to sweep A&M tomorrow. Again, they hold on. Those postseason chances continue to increase.
There's reason to not feel good either, or feel good about Ole Miss right now. You know, odds are in their favor, but this is also the same A&M team that scored 9 runs in 1 inning against Georgia a couple of weeks ago too.
Again, it's once you light the fuse for this A&M offense, it's very difficult to stop it.
This is Jack Bell at the plate, by the way, pinch hitting for Travis Chestnut.
I think Bell actually went in for defense last time, so technically,
yeah,
he's not pinch hitting.
And he chases downstairs. Now it's Caden Kent, who came in defensively last inning for Blake Binderup. Not going to make that same mistake twice, Keith. He's not pinch hitting.
He is not. That is correct, because we saw him make a great play on defense. His dad, Jeff, was a right-handed hitter.
Blasted his 2nd home run of the season last night.
Yeah, he crushed that ball last night.
It's his 2nd homer in 3 games. Something about these last 3 games, too, for Kent. 7 of his season 14 RBIs are in the last 3. Not a hit in his last 3. Counts 2-2 to him. Got him swinging.
You said it, Mike. What Mike Bianco said about Josh Mallitz last week, looking like the Josh Mallitz from 2022. Off speed right there, has Kent out front. Perfect location down in the zone, and Mallitz back-to-back strikeouts here in the 8th.
Back to the top of the order, Gavin Grahovac steps up. Boy, Mallitz looks locked in, doesn't he?
A good sign for Ole Miss, there's no question. When he's on, he can be really good.
Mallitz had a rough go of it in late March into late April. Gave up 10 earned runs over 9 innings of work and 7 outings. Walked 10, struck out 7, allowed 13 hits. But it was that Auburn series, game 2, like we mentioned.
Yeah, we said it when he came in. The walks have been a bit of a problem this year. And again, not historically a problem for Josh Mallitz, but it had been this season. Certainly hadn't been an issue today.
Swing and a miss. 3 Ks for Mallitz here in the 8th. And this guy right here, Jackson Ross, with a 2 RBI single. That was back in the 4th inning where Ole Miss scored 3 runs. And that 10-run rule, it's in effect in this 8th inning. Aggies have not been run ruled this season.
They haven't lost by more than 2 runs this season. Look, if it had been for Zane Budmeyer, this game would be over. Budmeyer pitched out that bases loaded, nobody out jam. He's done nothing but throw up 0 since he's been in the ball game.
Ross pops up. Foul grounds. It's Kent to make the squeeze. Yes, and Budmeyer has retired 10 of 11 in his outing.
Yeah, infield hit.
Yeah.
That's it. Did get some help from Kent over at first base last inning. Great play. No, he's been fantastic. Again, not many bright spots today for the Aggies. That is clearly one of them.
Ole Miss has had a base runner on an every inning but one. That was in the 6th, and that was Zane Budmeyer's first full inning in this game. Well, I guess you could say he pitched a full inning with 3 outs in the 5th with bases loaded, but you know what I mean.
He did. That was his hardest inning.
Yeah.
That was his most full inning. Just a really good mix. He's been able to throw that breaking ball, which has been good for a strike. Fastball's been good enough. He's located it well. And he's thrown strikes. And again, that's what A&M was having so much trouble with today, was getting the ball over the plate.
Where nobody is, Will Furniss hits it. They had that shift on him to pull it, and he sent it oppo.
And we saw him try to bunt into the shift earlier today. That wasn't successful. Actually, I think in a normal defense, that's going between in the 6 hole.
And where's Kent with runner on first? He's not holding Furniss. He's down the first base line.
So Kent's got an earpiece, right? He's got the PitchCom system, and he doesn't want the base runner to hear it. So you will see him walk down towards, this is something you don't ever see, or you didn't see until recently. He's going to walk down, he hears the pitch call, now he's going to walk back.
Croft lunges for it, charging Camarillo. No play at second base. The throw is wide at first. 2 are on for Ole Miss. 1 away in the 8th.
Just routine play, too, and it's something we're not used to seeing A&M do. Camarillo, super shortstop. Did the hard part, came to get it. Does a nice job getting a good hop, and then just the easy part, and just flips it offline. Can't make the tag, and Ole Miss a couple of guys on.
First error today for Texas A&M. 3rd on the weekend. They had 2 last night. Smithwick hit his first career homer against Murray State earlier this week. He can end it with 1 swing of the bat. Not with a swing like that, though. 1-1. Little loop, left field line, fair ball 2. Furniss around 3rd, he's gonna score. Croft gets the green light, here's the relay. The throw is in time, they got him.
Rarely do you have that kind of excitement, right, in a 9-1 game? But that was the winning run. A&M did that really well, huh? They executed it. Nice job by Sorrell in left field. See him get to that ball quickly. Camarillo with the excellent relay throw, and Appel makes the tag. There's no question Groff was out at the plate. I'm assuming that Mike Bianca, who we see out there, is arguing that Appel was blocking the plate. And we are going to get a review, or at least the umpires talking to each other here. You have to allow a sliding lane for the runner.
The call of out is confirmed. Ole Miss has used first challenge.
2 head coaches, too, that go way back to their days as assistants in Louisiana.
Yeah, very good friends, great respect, and they've won a lot of baseball games, huh, between those 2?
Well, Reagan Burford started the scoring for Ole Miss in the 2nd. He can end it. Line drive caught by Camarillo. And we go to the 9th with Ole Miss on top of A&M 10-1. Faces 2, 3, 4 in the order for Texas A&M. 3 tough outs. Lavalette, Montgomery, Appel.
Yeah, but if you're going to be in the 9th inning with 3 tough outs, you like having a 9-run lead. Really remarkable day for Ole Miss today. They have pitched it, they have hit it, and they have played good defense. An A&M team that worst loss of the season is by 2 runs. Was a relay throw from being run ruled. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Bouncer down the first base line, bobbled by Furniss. Mallett's covered. They get Lavalette.
When it's your day, right? Get kind of an in-between hop. Furniss ran himself into a tough play, but that ball doesn't bounce away far. Nice job staying with it. Mallett's covers. You see, it just doesn't roll just far enough away for Lavalette to beat the throw, and now that's where he's supposed to be, and the Rebels get out number 1.
Ole Miss looking for its 4th SEC Series win this season. And Montgomery, the Mississippi native, takes ball 1.
Kind of amazing how things can change in a week, right? Ole Miss leaves Auburn Sunday after really disappointing, blew a 9th inning lead. Every opportunity to win that and sweep the series. Come home, lose Wednesday night in a marathon 15-inning game to Murray State. And that winning 4 out of 6 to give yourself a chance sounds great, but you're looking at A&M and LSU. And here we are 2 games later, Ole Miss 2 outs away from winning both games against the Aggies, and an entirely different outlook than I think a lot of people thought Thursday night they would be looking at Saturday night.
Alex wants to switch out baseballs. Morris Hodges behind the plate. Gets more. And Mallitz steps on for the 3-0 pitch. Mallitz has struck out 4 of the 8 batters he's seen since he came in back in the 7th. And a base runner for the Aggies here in the 9th. You mentioned walks have been an issue for Mallitz.
Yeah, I mean, just when you look at the numbers, I think it was, 16 walks in 23 innings. Just not something you would expect, especially in a bullpen guy, because you're coming in. Games are tight typically. Hasn't been an issue today. It really historically hadn't been an issue for Mallitz.
Montgomery runs for second base. He's there without a throw. Appel's ahead in the count, 1-0.
He almost did not hold him on first base with the left-handed hitting Appel at the plate. Giving up that run, giving up the bag.
Gets behind Birch. And now Montgomery's up to third.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to go as wild pitch. It's fastball in the dirt. That's one Birch is typically going to block.
Situation like this in the 9th, this is where you're grateful to be up 9.
It would definitely be a different buzz in the crowd if this was a one-run game. Or maybe a better word would be a nervousness that is not in the stadium right now. Mallitz doesn't want to give up that run, though. A walk. Just kind of allowing him to take second base and a wild pitch to third. It would be an earned run, but it would be one you wouldn't feel great about.
Knocked to deep center. Groff ranges back, makes the catch. Deep enough for Montgomery to touch home plate. 10-2 ball game, Ole Miss on top. But A&M down to their last out.
You could see from Mallett's body language, he was not happy about that run scoring. Ole Miss very happy to give up that run for an out. This Ole Miss crowd's had a few people leave early, but the ones that are here are still trying to will this one through, huh?
They know what's on the line.
Well, Dave Neal and Ben McDonald will get the one tomorrow, and I'll bet you when they got in their car to head over, they were not expecting to be, they might have been thinking sweep. I don't think this is what they had in mind when they'll be calling that. It's a late game tomorrow too, right?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock local. Might be the latest Sunday start I've ever heard of in the SEC.
You could thank TV for that.
Yes. I'm sure A&M's got a charter plane. They're not going to school Monday. I'm sure they're out. Now let's go take a deep breath. Certainly doesn't want to walk a second hitter here in the ninth with an 8-run lead.
And the bubble team, that's Ole Miss, is projected out of the NCAA tournament. One strike away from taking the series against the third-ranked Aggies. Two free passes this inning issued by Mallett's. Two flyouts to right, one to center today for Camarillo. Runner moves up to second base, strike one. Swayze rises on this 0-2 count. Fly ball to center. Groff under it. The boys from Oxford are certainly
The call of out is confirmed. Ole Miss has used this challenge.
Two head coaches, too, that go way back to their days as assistants in Louisiana.
Yeah, very good friends, great respect, and they've won a lot of baseball games, huh, between those two?
Well, Reagan Burford started the scoring for Ole Miss in the second. He can end it. Line drive, caught by Camarillo. And we go to the ninth with Ole Miss on top of A&M 10-1.